Monday, Morgan was to buy, but the brothers open clinic, brokenweapon.com was limited the com virtual TV virtual EV.com.
Good job, my boy. All right. What's up, y'all? Headed to the doctor. We got a double dose of doctor this morning for Drew. First, we got to go see Dr. B. Drew's a little under the weather. Before we send him back to school, we're going to make sure that he gets to go to the doctor. Make sure everything's good there. Woo. And then we will go see Dr. Shaw. Shaw or Shaw, I'm not exactly positive on the pronunciation, but that's Drew's new neurologist. So Dr. Holman was his neurologist. She retired after a long career. And so today is our first meeting with Dr. Shaw. Anyway, okay, thanks for being here with us. We appreciate y'all as always. For everyone who participated in our immediate reaction video yesterday after the Saints lost to the Falcons, thanks for watching. I know some of you probably don't like my word choice at times, but Saints drive me to do that. Saints lose to the Falcons 24-15. 5 field goals is all they could muster. And the one that you absolutely had to have at the end of the game to give yourself a shot to get an onside kick and play on, Blake Grupe misses it because, of course, he did. Blake Grupe is the classic case of the guy that can make that could bomb the ball on the driving range. He's great on the practice greens. You get him on the course, and he gags when it matters most. Anyway, so it's a bummer. The Falcons are now the betting favorite to win the division and go to the playoffs. Despite the fact that both teams are 5-6, of course, Atlanta now 3-0 in the division, Saints 1-2 in the division. So if it does come down to a divisional tiebreaker, Atlanta right now with a commanding lead over the Saints and the rest of the division. Anywho, 5 red zone possessions, 0 touchdowns. That's hard to do. Even if you're trying to not score, it's hard to do because, you know, the game of football in 2023 is so heavily weighted toward the offense that it's just really hard to imagine in the year of our Lord 2023 having this type of offensive futility. That you can move up and down the field, and once you get inside the 20 and the field shrinks, you just forget how to play the sport. Devastating pick 6 by Derek Carr. Get to him in a second. Devastating fumble by Taysom Hill. First fumble since 2020. I guess you're allowed one of those every 3 years, although it was in a terrible spot. And you lost to Desmond Ridder. It's, you know, the craziest part about what's happening with the Saints is when you actually step back and think about the quarterbacks that you have played and lost to this year, it's embarrassing, man. I mean, you had so much line up for you this year. You caught so many breaks. Even when you got to face guys on the schedule, like getting to face Bryce Young in week 2, his second ever start. Getting to face Jordan Love and the Packers early in the season when he's just transitioning to being the starter, and also you get to go to Lambeau when it's nice and not frozen. You play Minnesota without Kirk Cousins. Josh Dobbs had just taken over that job. It's just so hard to come to grips with how this thing has just... Well, let me rephrase that. It's not hard to come to grips with it. We all understand why. Because Dennis Allen's not a good coach, and Pete Carmichael is in over his head, and Derek Carr is a stat-padding loser, and probably a great human. Seems like it anyway. The things that really matter in life. Good man, good husband, father, Christian, all that stuff. That's very important. That's way more important than football. But specifically in a football context, he's a loser. I mean, he throws for a lot of yards, but never wins anything. He'll get you up and down the field, get to the red zone, and throw a 100-yard pick six. I mean, that's what he is. So, and it's what he's always been. You're in year 10. The sample size is large enough to know. So, it's not hard to understand how we've gotten to this point. You have an organization that's made really bad decisions on the two most important things, coach and quarterback. And you made two bad decisions. So you are what you are. But it's hard to reconcile because you caught so many breaks this year. You caught so many breaks. Anthony Richardson gets hurt, so you face Gardner Minshew instead. I mean, it's just... Anyway, so Saints lose. They're 5-6. Now you get to come home and play Detroit, who is going to have a long week. Obviously, they played on Thanksgiving, so they got the extra rest to get ready for this one. A team that was humbled on their home field on Thanksgiving by Green Bay, and certainly is going to be looking for a bounce back on the road in New Orleans. We'll see if the Saints can muster up any type of gumption to to get this thing. What are we doing here, fella? Come on, let's make a decision. There's two lanes, you got to pick one. You don't get to ride the middle. Also, let it be said that today I took E-Rock's advice, and instead of going I-10, because there's always traffic on I-10, I took Perkins Road, and Perkins Road is a parking lot. So let it be known that I did, in fact, listen to my wife, and this is not a good idea, because Drew's appointment is in 8 minutes, and we're going to be late. 7 minutes, we're going to be late.